and welcome back to Brydon Together, the podcast that is all about bridge building in every area of your life. I am Mina Thomas Brett.
I am Brydon Thomas Brett.
And we are so grateful to be here for episode 43.
Holy moly, yeah.
Crazy. It's so crazy to me that we've done 40. This is 43. That's wild. Anyway, we just want to say welcome back to the people who are rocking with us, who come back for every single episode. Thank you so much. If you are new here, welcome. We are excited to have one of our brothers in the studio with us today. I'll do the little, intro business in a minute. I just want to encourage everyone to like, comment, and subscribe. Get connected with us on socials. Make sure that you check out the cruise that we're going on in August of next year. We want to see you on that boat with us. Come hang out. We're excited about that. Also, if you have topics that you want us to cover, drop them in the comments or get on our website and make those suggestions. We welcome any suggestions that you have. And we're just going to move right into the episode today. Really excited to be able to be the interviewer for these illustrious young men in front of me. This is going to be a little different because we are going to be interviewing Brydon and our brother Aaron.
Yes.
Aaron and Brydon are in a duo called Prince Ivan. I am rocking the merch if you can't see it. This is like vintage Prince Ivan though, so you can't get this nowhere. I am going to read their bio and give them the proper introduction just so we have an idea of who these young men are. Are you guys ready for this?
I'm so interested.
Ready?
We're ready and we're young.
I keep saying you're young because you look young, even if you're not. I mean,
we are illustrious too.
You're illustrious and young. Listen, I like that word.
I like it too.
Mm-hmm. Prince Ivan. This is their duo. Their duo is called Prince Ivan. Prince Ivan is now this says Branson, Missouri based, but I think we need to change it.
Yes.
Because both of you now live in Utah. What is this
United States?
Coming
a U.S.
We're
based.
U.S. based.
We're U.S. based.
You don't want to say Utah based? Okay.
No.
Prince Ivan is a United States of America based songwriting, production, and performing duo consisting of Brydon, Brett, and Aaron Space. Okay.
It's me.
The duo calls their musical output Spectropop, a fresh fusion of styles from across the top 40 spectrum designed to break down cultural and musical boundary lines. Live on stage, Prince Ivan is captivating and engaging, combining the energy and interactivity of a DJ dance party with the connection and intimacy of a singer-songwriter set. This versatile duo also presents educational workshops on songwriting, production, and the music business, as well as music-based DEI offering. As well as a music-based DEI offering called The Unity Project. Please welcome Prince Ivan!
Yay. Confetti. Children cheering.
What's that? I can't do. I'm trying.
Confetti.
Trying to do that horn sound.
I tried to do
That's
it.
crazy. It was in my mind, but I couldn't get it to my mouth.
Sounded like you were doing quack quack.
Yeah.
Quack.
Pretty bad.
Welcome to the pod, you two. It is wonderful to have you. I'm
Thanks,
excited to talk to you guys. I also want to just give each of you a little individual bio moment. So I think I'm going to do that.
Okay. Can I also say one thing?
No.
For people who might be dropping into our podcast for the first time, just so you know, this is our podcast,
Oh,
right?
yes.
It is.
This is our podcast.
Yeah. So it's like a plot twist. Like now, like we're just reversing, kind of switching roles around a little bit because I am part of Prince Ivan, but I'm also part of Brydon Together. So
Yeah.
I'm the middle of the Venn diagram apparently today.
Yes. Maybe you should have sat in the middle.
Yeah, I think we're good. Yeah.
But now your new nickname is Ven.
This is gonna be fun. Okay, so first we are going to talk about Aaron Space. Aaron Space is a singer, songwriter, producer, and performer from Prince George's County, Maryland.
Ooh.
Aaron has performed with a chart-topping boy band 98 Degrees. He opened for the Backstreet Boys DNA World Tour in 2022. And in 2021, he co-wrote the single Where Do You Want to Go for 98 Degrees, which broke the top 40 on the Billboard's Hot AC chart. Aaron continues to work with 98 Degrees as a lighting designer, music producer, and recording engineer. He also is currently the technical director and part of the creative team for Labelless, the musical. Aaron Space has original music available to listen to with his band Prince Ivan, along with his latest solo single called You're the One, which are available on all major streaming platforms. Welcome, Aaron.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's really past time. I'm really grateful that we get to sit here and talk to you. I'm really happy about that. And he's wearing his Labelless t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
We love Aaron. Aaron is our brother, so this is very exciting for me.
That's big facts.
Big thanks. Next, we're going to talk about Brydon.
Small rumors.
Small rumors. We're going to talk about Brydon, who you guys sit. If you've been here before, then you know that he is part of Brydon Together. So he is always sitting here with me having these conversations. And then we brought a couple of other guests on, and we've had conversations with those people. But there's plenty of things about Brydon that the audience that we usually talk to doesn't know. So this is really cool. I'm going to introduce you. Okay. Your website says that you're a change artist.
That's beautiful.
A person who uses their creative and or artistic skills to disrupt the status quo and affect positive change. Brydon Brett is a world change artist who specializes in deploying his diverse talent stack to create transformational music, art, experiences, systems, brands, and content that is all strategically designed to affect positive change, build bridges, and create the beloved community.
It's beautifully written.
Welcome, Brydon Brett.
Thanks. Yeah.
Come on, Ben.
Come on, Ben. Yeah.
It is an honor to have Prince Ivan on the pod today. So we're going to talk about a few different things. Obviously, bridge building is our life. So we will definitely touch on that and talk about your music, talk about your journey. And this is going to be fun. I want to know, how did this duo come about? Like, how did you guys meet? Who wants to
Great
tell the
question.
story?
It's a great question. So I, from my perspective, I went to college at Southern Virginia University in 2008 to play football. And there was a girl that we knew that invited me to try out for this a cappella group because she'd heard me sing. I think I was just messing around or something. But anyway, she invited me to try out for an a cappella group, and I did, and ended up getting in. And Brydon was there, and I think you'd already been part of the group prior, right?
Yeah. I was.
Didn't you start the group?
No, I didn't start the
No?
group, but I think I was like co-president at that point.
Yeah. And the way that at least we tell the story now is that it was like instant connection, and within like 30 to 60 seconds we were like chest bumping each other, chest bumping the wall, and it began this incredible relationship that just kind of organically grew. And so then fast forward like 6 months later, we were living in the same on-campus housing. That was a lot of fun, made a lot of memories, and a lot of those friends from that era are still our friends today. A lot of pranks. And,
Aaron was wild, bro. Like in the best way. Like this. Okay, so this is a faith-based school, right? So like we're not doing anything crazy, but within the box of crazy that was allowed. Aaron was like at the top. She was at the top end. Like,
yeah, I pushed the boundaries, didn't I? Oh, dude, I don't forget that. Well, so there was a Goodwill. Like, I don't know, like a mile up the road from SVU.
yeah.
And I would go there often, and I like to shop in the ladies section. You know how like at Goodwill you can find the like old suit jackets with the pads in them.
Mhm.
So I would go and I would find like a cool, colorful one. I'd cut the pads out, and then I would wear that. Well, it just so happened that I found a cool jacket, but I also found these like 80s retro multicolored tights. They were like capri tights. and so I wouldn't wear it. I did wear it. the whole outfit I wore around the house. And then I wore it to like didn't I wear it to like some kind of function, I'm sure.
Yeah. But in the house, at least for sure in the house, I don't know if you went outside of the house, you wouldn't wear a shirt with a jacket. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, those were different times.
So
You're a football player.
Yeah.
moral of the story is if we get 10 comments requesting us to post that photo, we will
What?
post it on our YouTube.
Uh-oh.
Wait, you have
Community.
a picture of
Oh yeah,
this?
there's a picture. Yeah,
How have
it's
I
like
never
definitely like
seen
Fresh
it?
Prince vibes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when
Yeah.
you were talking about the jacket. I thought about how he would walk around
Yeah.
the
Yeah, we
private
might-
school he was
we
in
might-
with his jacket
We might have
inside
to blur
out.
out the midsection.
I mean, you were playing football at the time. I'm sure
Yeah.
you were jacked. No.
I was thin for sure.
Yeah,
I was small. I quickly found out I was too small for football.
yeah. That's
Okay.
without going into unnecessary detail. Aaron was there for football. I was there for basketball initially. He came the year after my first year, so it was my second year, and I had made the decision to fully commit to the a cappella group and to pursuing a business degree. God had moved me away from basketball, so I wasn't playing basketball anymore.
Yeah, so you were in school for basketball.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
like that's what you
Yeah.
went there for.
yeah, that's what I went
Was
there for.
you
And
to
he went
play
there for
basketball.
football. So,
I found an ESPN bio on you.
crazy, right? Yeah,
That's wild. I didn't
Yeah.
even know it existed.
yeah, it's there.
It's wild.
Brydon and Brett averaged 5 points a game. Yeah.
It was just
I was a
odd to see
freshman,
your name
whatever.
on ESPN.
No, but yeah. So the first time I ever saw Aaron was actually on the football field because I was doing a work study program and I was a commentator, the online broadcast commentator. And I had a guy by me who knew football and I didn't, but I knew show business. And so it was great, bro. Like it was great. Like I was like intentionally inflammatory and sarcastic and people loved me. Like it was
Oh,
great.
I'm
They
Like,
did
sure
love
they
him.
did.
I got lots of great reviews from my family.
that's really?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Oh, that's
They said they
hilarious.
loved you. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. So I only remember 'cause I have one image in my mind when you got tackled at one game. That's
Cool.
yeah. So I didn't really know you.
Thanks.
Right, that's what I'm like. Wow, great memory.
So I didn't really know you. It was at that point when you did the audition. I was on the audition panel, saw you do your audition, and then yeah, we're like, yeah, let's let him in.
Were you really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
The first rehearsal. No, wait, no. I
I thought it was just Josh and
It might have been,
Steve,
yeah.
Steven.
Yeah, I think it might have been at that point. So yeah, actually, I think you're right. I was not in leadership at that point. I was just I was a member. Anyway, doesn't matter. But yeah, like I do remember like the first rehearsal when we actually got to meet. It was like instant, and like literally like whoever was running rehearsal had to be so frustrated with us. We were just cutting up the whole time and like literally like chest bumping the wall, like just weird fun.
You were chest bumping.
Yeah, just
that was
stupid.
true.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the stupid stuff.
You
yeah.
were.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were just being
No.
No.
hyperbolic.
I'll show you
yeah.
after.
Yeah, yeah. I'll show you how to do it. It's fun. But what was interesting for us was that you were only there for really a semester and
In a few weeks.
in a
yeah.
few weeks, and then he went back to Arizona and started preparing to go on a 2-year mission for the LDS Church. And so, but during that, it was a very short window of time where we met each other and just
Oh,
immediately knew that we were supposed to do something together.
wow.
So it was a lot of faith. I flew out to Arizona during a spring break to write. That was the first time I'd ever written music. Really, I'd always just done
Yeah.
cover stuff because that's how I grew up, you know.
Right.
And even in the a cappella group, that's what we were doing. And so that was the first. We have those songs. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, the first song we wrote was trash.
Trash.
But the second one was pretty good.
Yeah, what was it?
I'm pretty sure the second one was Lean and Sway.
Holy crud.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, so can we advance the storyline?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Whatever you guys want to do. I'm just like, I've got so many questions.
Yeah. Well, in a nutshell.
Yeah, we'll be quick.
In a nutshell, I had no idea that people could actually make money doing entertainment. I traveled out to Branson, Missouri to visit Brydon just because he was my bro, and saw him and his family doing their music show. Mm-hmm. And to me, it was like the wildest thing. And there was never a concept to me that people could actually make money doing music. And so, on that trip, I met Brydon's brother, Garen. The three of us just kind of had this instant connection. We decided that we wanted to form a band together. And then I was just about to leave the country to do my church mission, and Garen as well did the same thing. So 3 years later, after that, we were back together.
What?
And then I believe the next year after that, we were doing our own stage show in Branson. We debuted Prince Ivan as a band. So it was the three of us that were the frontmen, singers. And then we had a 7-piece band, so drums, bass, guitar, keys, and then a 3-piece horn section. And that was, honestly, it was kind of a dream. Like I still look back on those times with a lot of fondness, and look back at video, and I think, man, we were pretty good. We were pretty good.
That trio harmony was and still is like crazy.
Yeah.
And then you guys' voices fit together very well. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the energy on stage was really good.
Oh,
so then through a series of
I was there.
Well, yeah, you were.
I was.
Yeah.
Wow. When you guys you remember when you added it to the Brett show? You guys had like a little
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's how it started.
Show?
Yeah.
That's right. That was the first
segment. A segment in the Brett show, and then that graduated into our own thing. Yeah.
Now that I think about it was quite a departure from what you guys were doing, but it was awesome to have that opportunity to do that.
So cool.
Props to mom and dad, man. Sheesh.
Yeah. So fast forward through a series of personal things that were going on in our lives. Garen moved away, and then Brydon and I continued the brand. And we kind of had to reinvent the wheel in some ways for our band, because we were so used to the 3-part harmony. Mm-hmm. Now we're down to a duo. And then we had to just kind of had to reinvent ourselves. And that was a process. And part of that process was starting to lean more pop. And then also we were developing more of the vision of what Prince Ivan really was supposed to be. And I feel like now we're really starting to lean into it with what you mentioned in your intro about the Unity Project. Mm-hmm. And so what that's looked like on paper so far is that we've written music that talks about social change, talks about unity, talks about seeing each other as fellow human beings, not judging each other by the exterior, judging each other by the heart. And we've also done a series of assemblies with elementary school to high school level, where we go in and we give a presentation about the beloved community, which was made famous by Dr. Martin Luther King, talking about a world that is not void of conflict, but fueled by love, where you solve conflict through love-fueled means. And we've had quite the journey. That was 2008. I said 2008. That's when we met. That we met. So
yeah,
what's that? 17 years ago now.
That's wild.
And we've been working together professionally for a little over 10 years. So.
Yeah. I would say, just to kind of tie up the Prince Ivan bow, and as we move into kind of the Unity Project, because the Unity Project is what we're focused on now, and what I think is of most interest to our audience, because we're all about bridge building. That's what Better Together is, and that's why I thought it'd be a natural marriage topically here. But I think there's some great lessons and just in our journey, because when Garen chose to go a different direction and pursue a solo career and finish college, and we became a duo, it was right at that time we also signed an artist development deal. But really we learned so much from that. Really what happened was they bought in on the trio and what that was. And then right as we're kind of like in the process and about to sign this artist development deal, Garen takes that departure. And so we're in this artist development deal and also trying to reinvent at the same time. It was like for a year, a refiner's fire. Like it was really intensely, it was really intense. A lot of pressure on our relationship and on the business and on, can we make this happen? A lot of elements were introduced that could have broken us up. And frankly, we almost did break up as a band and almost like as friends in a way. Like it kind of got that serious. And so we went into the Christmas break of 2018, literally with the question on our minds: is Prince Ivan over? And is Aaron going to move away, or am I going to move away? And are we going to, like, is this basically done? You know, because there was enough tension because of the business and because of the deal and everything and all that pressure that it was like, you know, we're good, you know, like we could probably see ourselves doing something different and with other people, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what it was for Aaron, and really even what it was for me, but took those 2 weeks or whatever and came back, and something like the vision was just stronger than ever. Like something shifted where we understood that we didn't have to work together, but we wanted to work together. And that Aaron had an identity outside of Prince Ivan artistically and as a human, and I had an identity outside of Prince Ivan as Brydon and Brett and as an artist. And we didn't have to put all this pressure on Prince Ivan to be the only thing that we do. Something about that liberated us, and we said, let's go. And like it was pretty interesting. So I say all that to say we've been through a lot. We've done hundreds of shows, spent hours and hours together making music and creating shows and doing business and life. And so,
and we've seen each other in our worst places too. And I think because of that, we know that there's a trust. And a lot of our journey has been in becoming becoming beloved, becoming agents of unity, becoming bridge builders. And I think that's the part of our journey that we didn't really anticipate was in order to be able to promote the message, we actually had to become it first. Mm-hmm. And we're still becoming, but so much of our journey getting to the point of being able to release music, because we haven't released music in a little while, but so much of the journey has been getting to a place where we actually can walk the talk, and not just say nice words. So, you know, hopefully when you interact with us, you experience the same thing that you would feel when you go to one of our shows or listen to our music. I'm really grateful for our relationship and for the hard things that it's caused me to go through, and the extreme highs that we've felt too. A lot of great memories and a lot to come.
Yeah. Okay. So we've talked about this extensively just in our own conversations and on the pod, but I always like to ask people how they define bridge building. So if you had to define what bridge building is, how would you define it?
To me, bridge building is unifying two points that weren't connected before. And typically in the context that we talk about, it's peoples, or it could be two individuals, but it is creating connection where before there was disconnect. And a lot of times for me to in my journey and I don't typically talk about bridge building, but I feel like I've had to connect breakages within myself in order to have greater empathy, and to be able to see life from, different points of view. And so I find that the more that I'm able to connect those broken points within myself, the more that I can be a bridge builder and be a mediator of sorts, or just help people connect when they weren't before.
Ugh, I love that. I love that you brought up there's gaps within yourself that you had to bridge. And I think that's really that's a high level of self-awareness, because a lot of times people don't realize that one of the reasons it's difficult for them to build bridges with others is because they have gaps within their own self that need to be bridged. And I've never really thought of it that way, but bridge building within yourself is also so important. We talk about the bridge between heaven and earth, and like really making sure that your connection with heaven is connected and not disconnected, because it helps you to connect with others better. But I've never really thought about like that bridge or multiple bridges within yourself needing care and needing to be maintained. So that's really, that gives me a lot of food for thought.
Can I hop in on that?
Yeah.
Because this is, and we'll tell the story of the Unity Project and how that all came to be here soon. But I've become he's probably my top 5 of people I disciple under, as it were, in terms of teachings, and that's Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Because of the journey that I've been on as a bridge builder and trying to become a more beloved person. I've studied everything that he ever said, listened to all of it, read all of it, and his model, I think, is so applicable to civil rights and society, but it's also applicable to an individual. So what Aaron's bringing up here psychologically, in psychology, they call it parts theory, that there are parts of you, and that's parts past and present. And so like 12-year-old you might have experienced something, and you might still be carrying an unhealed 12-year-old inside of your body, right? And there's parts of you that are happy and whole and doing great. There are other parts of you that aren't, right? And so putting this under a beloved lens or under a Jesus lens, like that's his whole idea, right? Is healing all parts of us and creating wholeness. And so the idea of integrating parts is really cool. And so Dr. King talked about the models of segregation, assimilation, and integration for society. Segregation obviously meaning that there's separation. We're segregating the parts of a society, of a system. And I think as you listen to this, like, think about how that applies to yourself. Like, are you segregating parts of yourself, And then assimilation sounds nice, but really at the end of the day, in society, what you're doing is you're forcing sub parts or subcultures that are minority cultures to take on the identity, essentially, and the practices and the ways of the dominant culture. That's assimilation. And it looks like peace on the outside, but it's not, because those minority cultures and those people are having to make significant compromises to fit in. Yeah. And think about how that applies to you in your own life. Like, there might be, if you're just assimilating, you might be playing smaller than you're supposed to because you're making compromises. You're not fully healing those parts of yourself. You're just, living kind of suboptimally. But if we get into integration, that's what Dr. King's vision was an integrated society where Black and white and all cultures were able to be themselves and to blend into a greater whole for a greater good because of these core values that we had that centered around what he called the beloved community, but where everybody could be an individual. And it wasn't about just becoming like the other person to fit in. And so I think that's a really cool model. Like, so what you're saying is like integrate. That's been our journey. We've been trying to integrate those parts of us that need to be integrated, build those bridges between those parts of us. And so I think that's a beautiful model. I think it can apply to any system, whether it's a person or a government.
Yeah, I love that. You mentioned a couple of things, like the integration thing versus segregation, how that can apply to individuals and people groups is That's really thought provoking. And then also, both of you have mentioned beloved a couple of times. So can you talk to me about the beloved community, the beloved idea, and how that impacts the work that you're doing right now?
Yes. uh, I'll take a stab.
Go for it.
So I like, so far from everything I've found, the best, most concise way to describe the beloved community is Dr. King's wife, Coretta Scott King, said, "The beloved community is fueled by unconditional love, feels like family, and transcends race, religion, and class." So the beloved community is, and it didn't start with Dr. King. He picked up a torch. Josiah Royce and the Fellowship of Reconciliation back in the early 1900s and late 1800s were having these thoughts that basically, the way I've come to spatialize it is, we're never going to live in a singular society. It's pluralistic from now on. Like Dr. King said, technology has made of this world a village. Now it's up to morality and spirituality to make of it a brotherhood. In other words, we're never going to be disconnected again. Like, just on the way here, we're driving a Mazda, which was manufactured somewhere, right? We ate bread that was, created by somebody else. We already interacted in an integrated, in like interconnected way with people from all cultures already, just on our drive here. And because of social media and technology, we can never be apart from other people. So how do we learn to live in peace with the rest of this world, in this pluralistic society? We'll never be disconnected again. We're always going to live with people who think differently than us, who look differently, who have different political beliefs, who have different religious beliefs, etc. Always. We can never be around people who are exactly the same as us. So beloved community says there is a vision, there is a center of the Venn diagram, a set of values that no matter your religion or no religion, no matter your class, no matter your culture, no matter your race, we can agree on these things. At least 95% of humanity can agree on these things, and let's build a society based on that. So it's a broader vision, even than like what we talk a lot of Christian themes in our podcast. Mm-hmm. It's a broader vision even than Christianity, because it incorporates all faiths. It allows all faiths to live together, because the reality is not everybody's going to believe in Jesus until we know, biblically, if you go that direction, right? Like, you believe that every knee shall bow and every tongue will confess someday. But until that day, we got to figure out a way to live together. And beloved community, I think, is the only vision I can see that could possibly unify humanity. There are a lot of organizations, a lot of people who've had differing visions about what humanity should look like, but none of them have nailed it in the way that I think beloved community does. It's such a powerful vision, and it's actually quite simple, but it gives us an end zone to go toward. There are a lot of great communities and organizations and people who are trying to do good for social justice, trying to affect change, but at the end of the day, it seems like everybody's going toward a different end zone. So we're not rowing the same direction. And I feel like I've always felt like beloved community could be that end zone that we could all reach for. And if we did, we might be able to actually move the needle on change. So does that make sense?
Yeah, that gives me a nice picture of beloved community. What are you going to say?
I was just saying, you can see the necessity for internal reflection and internal refinement. Mm-hmm. Because I found in my life that I tend to judge people and not forgive people in areas where I have judged myself and not forgiven myself. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the social discord in the world. A lot of the social discord in the world comes just from misunderstanding I grew up one way, you grew up one way, Brydon grew up one way, and something that's completely normal to me might be weird to you. It could be dangerous to you.
Mhm.
But to you, or to me, it's normal. And so I feel like the journey that pursuing the beloved community has put us through, like we were talking about, it's sowing those brokennesses within ourselves, forgiving ourselves, making peace with ourselves, because then that allows us to make peace with others. And I think that's been one of the hardest parts about embarking on this journey, is that you can't force people to want to change their hearts. That's an internal journey, and so our mission has just been to be a vessel to present the idea and help people even be aware that it's possible to experience harmony with people that are different than you, to celebrate each other's differences rather than judge them and label them as dangerous or threatening. I think it's a worthy goal to try to create a world where people have love for one another, have love for themselves, just as Jesus said. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. Because the internal peace that I feel from forgiving myself, not shaming myself, it's incredibly liberating. And it took me a long time to get to that point, and through a myriad of experiences, and a myriad of hard experiences, where I had to look myself in the mirror. I've cried, I've yelled, I've screamed, and cried out to the Lord. But now seeing who I am and who I'm becoming on the other side of that pain is completely worth it, because I experience, I think to a certain degree, I experience that beloved community within myself, where there is harmony, and where there is peace, and where there is acceptance, and there's forgiveness, and there's celebration of my faults, and there's celebration of other things I don't like about myself, and but then there's also celebration of the things that I love about myself, and and celebration of the things that I'm good at and the things I've worked hard for. So really, at the core of beloved community, like Brydon described, is love.
Yeah.
And that's love for yourself, love for each other, which I think embodies empathy. And maybe I don't understand you, but I know that you're experiencing the human experience like I am. And so innately, a lot in our society, especially with social media, we tend to compare. It's so easy to compare my life to yours, but that's really where that stems from, I think, is pride and being too proud to recognize that you're just as flawed as I am. And the sooner that I can forgive myself for being imperfect, the sooner I can forgive you for being imperfect.
Love that.
I would also add love for yourself, love for others. There's also an element of love for the earth in beloved community, treating the earth well. And when that's important. It's really good. And then there's also room in beloved community for people who don't believe in God, but for people who believe in God in whatever the way they do to love God. So it's love in every direction, and it's fueled by unconditional love. And so it's a love-centered society that allows for differences and builds on what we have in common. Dr. King he envisioned a world with no war, no poverty, no racism, a world not where there's no conflict, but where conflict is resolved through peaceful means, not violence. The other like key elements of beloved, like he talked about universal and active love, the universal sisterhood and brotherhood of all humans, radical welcome, dignity, respect, and honor for everybody, affirmation of our differences, no poverty, homelessness, or hunger because love would not allow that. Commitment to justice and peace, environmental stewardship, collaborative efforts from cross sections of people. So you see all these groups working together, and you see this in some areas, interfaith initiatives and so forth. But he was like, even more than interfaith, interhuman, initiatives. Like a global world house perspective. He talked about that all the time. And a focus on reconciliation and redemption, forgiveness and peacemaking. Like, sounds beautiful, right? Like it sounds like I could get down with that. Like when I think about what I can literally do to leave a better world for my kids, which we have a responsibility to do. We have a and that's where I can get a little bit off on like with Christians, because we are so fixated on when Jesus is going to come again and fix everything. And then when we get to get out of this place. Yeah. And actually, that's not what Jesus taught. That this is going to become heaven, and we have a partnership, a co-creative partnership and responsibility to help turn this earth into a heaven. So that's, for me, that's good theology from a Christian perspective. But here's the thing. I think I've said it on previous episodes. Like, if Jesus comes again in 5 years, I want to be ready for that. And beloved community still makes sense to me to build that. But what if he doesn't come for 50? Because Paul thought Peter, everybody's thought Jesus was coming back in their day, and he's going to come fix everything. But what if he doesn't come back for another 50 or 500 years? And I just spent my life waiting for him to come and getting myself right, get my little church, stay in the salt shaker, But I like what one man said. He was asking, when is Jesus going to come again? He says, I don't know. I would prepare like it's tomorrow, but I'm still planting cherry trees. And beloved community is that cherry tree. It's that tree for me that said, this is a vision I can get behind, and a way that I can get involved to help leave a better world for David. Like literally leave a better world, leave this world better than I found it. And I'm doing that in multiple ways in my life through bridge building. So I view my life as I'm bridge building between Christians, between ethnicities, but this larger beloved vision is between all humans, and even talking about governments and schools and businesses and families, and not just individuals. Like we're talking like when it comes down to it, it's a huge vision. And so our vision, like on our podcast, we always say we're here to make bridge building sexy for the first time, because it's not sexy.
It's never been sexy.
I think Prince Ivan's vision is to make that beloved vision sexy. Really at the end of the day, that's what drives us. We also just like making good music too. So
yeah. You guys have music out on all streaming platforms. Your album is called The Preface.
Yeah, the preface.
The preface is so good. Like top to bottom, you just listen through. It's so good, and it's not because I'm your wife. My family loves that album, and
10 toes down.
That's saying something.
Thank you.
You know how picky they can be. But I just wanted to know if there is anything in either of your backgrounds or upbringing that makes you feel uniquely qualified to help build the beloved community. And I don't know, do you want to talk about it? Do you want to? Because I feel like there are things in each of your backgrounds that make you uniquely qualified to do this work. And I wonder if you have even observed those things about yourselves, and if you have, what are they, and would you be willing to share what they are? You first, because you just went.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, I've thought of some before, but I'm also realizing others in real time here. I think one thing that's been apparent to me is that I'm biracial. white and black, and so
You're a
and-
literal bridge.
I've grown up in between cultures, not completely feeling like I belong in either one, but being able to survive in both. And I also grew up without my biological father. So I've learned later in life that I understand. I had a really deep-seated subconscious belief that I was not wanted, and I didn't realize that was there. But that was something that was like poison to me for years. My wife Shayla and I, we've been married for 12 years now, and we've been trying to have children for that long. And so we know the pain of praying for miracles and not seeing them manifest, and at least in the way that we pray for. And then I know I've always been very headstrong, very self-motivated. I think very early on, because my mom was, she'd work at least 2 jobs. I would often take myself to school, bring myself home. I was in charge of making sure my homework was done, all that kind of stuff. And so I was kind of trained to be very independent from an early age. And so I've always relied on myself to do everything and solve problems. And in marriage, just like marriage does, it teaches you the ways that you see the world that aren't true. And so I've learned to relax that a little bit. I've learned to let other people live their lives. Learn to let my wife live her life. And so your question was, how am I uniquely qualified? I think at the core of it is that I have a desire to be a good person, and because of my background, I have an understanding of certain types of pains and discomforts, and so I think that combination, that desire to be good, and the hard things that I've gone through, put me in a unique position. I don't know if it is unique really, but I think it's a good combination to at least try to do some good in the world. And then in combination with Brydon, it's so interesting. We offset each other in many ways. Professionally, I've always kind of been the tech guy that when rubber hits the road, make it happen. And Brydon has always been a visionary, and obviously there's some overlap then, but it's been a great relationship because we do complement each other in lots of great ways. So that would be my answer, Mina.
Thanks, Aaron.
I'm sure I'd like to hear what you have to say. One thing I would just add is that Aaron has had prophetic words spoken over him regarding his voice. And so one thing that makes him uniquely qualified is his voice is a voice of repentance, but not in like stand up on the wall, getting stones thrown at you type of that biblical picture. It's like when he sings, what comes out moves you to change. And he has an anointing on his voice, so that makes him uniquely qualified as well. And as an artist, like he and I have gotten to the point. It wasn't always this way we developed it, but like we read each other on stage. Like it's just easy, Yeah, I fully trust him, he fully trusts me. And you don't get that very often with artists. It takes a long time to develop that, and to have someone who knows how. I mean, he just opened for Backstreet Boys. He's controlling thousands of people. I know how to control thousands of people. Would you have two people who know how to do that? It's very rare, So
Thanks, Brydon.
you're
Do
welcome.
you think I have an anointing on these? See if the mic can pick up the blood flow.
His
You hear that?
biceps,
You hear
unbelievable,
that?
bro. I knew you were scheming. Like, you waited a whole minute for that.
Yeah, dude, I let you have your moment.
What about you? Is there anything in your background that makes you feel uniquely, or maybe uniquely is not the right word. Maybe it's relatably qualified.
Yeah, it's so funny.
To lead the charge on building the beloved community, because there's so many people who want social justice and social reform and social change, but they don't have the beloved community in mind. It's not like we want. It's something that I've noticed that drives me nuts, because this idea of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, it really, a lot of practitioners of the DEI mindset or
Industry.
ideology or industry at this point, yes. A lot of practitioners of this ideology, they preach inclusion, but what they really mean is they want to include everyone who had previously been excluded, but now everyone who had been previously included is now excluded. And so it's not inclusion.
Yeah.
It's the people who used to be excluded are now included, and we've just switched roles, which is not inclusion. And so
inclusion by exclusion doesn't work.
It doesn't work. And so it's like everyone has a seat at the table, they'll say. But really, it's everybody has a seat at the table that did not previously have a seat at the table. And the people who were sitting at the table before are no longer welcome. And that doesn't work for inclusion. So I'm just wondering, Aaron answered the question. What do you think uniquely qualifies you to lead this charge on truly building the beloved community and not something else?
Yeah. Well, I have to comment on one thing about the DEI space, because we've met so many beautiful people, and obviously DEI as a field has been, in many ways, I mean, it's a huge pivot that's having because of governmental changes, and we don't need to go into detail on that, but we saw that coming years ago, and we didn't even know it, because we never set out to be like DEI specialists. That was never. We just realized that was a space that we could operate in. That's what it was being called. But one thing, so an advantage we had coming into that space is we weren't like lifetime DEIers. We're musicians with a creative perspective and wanted to bring something fresh to a conversation that was already being had. And we were able to see things maybe a little bit differently. And one thing I noticed about DEI, and the reason I said industry, is anytime you have an industry, Dr. Benjamin Hardy said, he quoted an unattributable quote. So this is an anonymous quote. He said that any system is designed to defend itself. Any system is designed to defend itself. Okay. It will work to preserve itself, to stay alive, to survive. And the DEI industry is no different. Any industry wants to stay alive. Yeah. And so when you have an industry that's more concerned with staying alive, then they're going to continue doing things to perpetuate the need for themselves. And this is very controversial for a blonde, white, blue-eyed male to be saying on a camera. Let's just say it.
Yeah.
But it's a truth. And so one of the best TED Talks I listened to years ago was from someone who operates in the DEI space and said, my vision for DEI is that we no longer need it. And that we completely get rid of it. because we don't need it anymore, because there's no more, the problem's gone.
Hmm.
And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. That should be the goal, but it doesn't seem like that's the goal for some people.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity to make money, and it doesn't make money to solve the problem necessarily sometimes. So you tend to do some things that perpetuate the problem. So that's a very blanket statement, and it's very nuanced across people and organizations. But so yeah.
And I'll just comment that part of what we realized was that there were, in a lot of the, because we did some trainings, and we recognized that there was a lot of focus on the problem without any offering of a solution. And so it's like running into an alley where there's just a brick wall, and so you realize where the problem's at, but you don't know where to go, and so that was part of what took us to the next step with the Unity project, with learning more about Dr. King. Okay, there's got to be a solution. Like there wouldn't be so much emphasis on a problem and then there'd not be a solution.
Right.
And so we developed a framework with the Unity project that is solutions based, is love based, is unity based, which prepared us. We literally got to receive a contract to do how many schools? 40 in 2020, some many schools up in Davis County, Utah, before we moved here.
We saw like 16,000 students.
Like 16,000 students over the course of a week and a half total. And what was interesting about Utah, diversity, equity, and inclusion was outlawed in public institutions in Utah before it was federally. And so we were just positioned, we were here like DEI space is kind of like scrambling, trying to figure out how to pivot the content and the curriculum. And we're sitting here saying, hey, God already inspired us. We already got this one over here. We're ready, and so we were ready for that moment, And so I think we're both like grappling right now with like that moment. Like we obviously have a positioning. God's been preparing us, giving us ideas for years on this. Since 2018 was when we really picked up the beloved vision. And so, like, do we want, we're about to put the music out for the first time, start releasing the music and see where this goes. Do we want to step up and really be the leaders that we probably are called to be, And so, because I think you see patterns, you see things that we wouldn't be given the vision, for one thing, if there wasn't provision to fulfill it. We have the choice, but ultimately the vision's been given. So I think that qualifies me and us. For me, I'm a teacher. Like that's my core gifting, is teaching. And so when I just live in that, I can do that really well. And so going to these assemblies and leading these discussions, because we'll do like senior student leadership conversations afterward, and some of that just around a round table with the student council or whatever. Those are great conversations, and we get to impact these young people. So I think I'm prepared that way. And then just to be really vulnerable spiritually, from my life, I don't know if people can relate to this, but I think you have moments in life where you feel kind of the passing of a baton. And I've felt that as certain people have passed away, I've felt at least a portion of their mantle and their calling kind of transfer to me. There are about 7 or 8 people in my life that I could say that I feel like I'm a cross section of those people, and where I feel a portion of their calling. And Dr. King's one of them. And so it's just really interesting to me. I was telling my cousin about what we were doing with the Unity Project and how we went to these schools and did this, that. And he said, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, the blonde white guy, that bring him in. Like, and so it's like,
Must have been Austin.
Right. No, it wasn't.
It wasn't?
No, it was somebody else. But
I think that part of the problem though, Brydon, is that's all that people see.
Exactly.
And that's, I
People
hate
need
that.
to spend like 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes in his presence to know, oh, okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. But if they're just going off of the way you look.
There was a politician several years ago that said that the greatest threat to the United States of America is the white male.
Mm-hmm.
And that broke my heart because of you, because I know you.
Yeah.
Because there's people like you that are actually trying to be good people. And I think that, I mean, obviously that's identity politics, but I just think that it's blind to label people just because of what you see. Whereas, and we talk about in the presentations we do that the skin makes up such a small percentage of the body. The majority of everything else is pretty similar.
Yeah.
Compared to the next human being. And so
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that yes, there are cultural differences. Yes, the ethnic background is different. But that doesn't define a person. And I know, evidenced by your life, like you know, you can't put people in a box just because of what you see. And you're probably the best person I know. And so anyway, it just bothers me when people try to put others in a box just because of how they look or where they came from.
Yeah.
I think people label others because it makes them feel safe. Because we don't like things that we don't understand. So if we can very quickly categorize something or someone in a box that we understand, it makes us feel safe. I'm just thinking about, for me, like what understanding does for me. Understanding makes me feel safe. If I feel like I understand something, even if like there's chaos going on in my life, if I feel like I understand why or what's going on, I feel so much safer. So I'm just thinking that labels, they probably present a feeling of false security, where it's like, well, if I understand this, then I don't have to be afraid. And that's ridiculous, especially when it comes to like putting labels on people because of their skin color or their eye color or whatever the case may be. But I think that's one of the reasons why we do that. We categorize and we label because it makes us feel safe, so that we don't have to be afraid of our surroundings or afraid of the people that we come in contact with. We can look at someone and say, I already know who you are. And it also is very lazy. You talk about lazy stereotypes all the time.
Yep.
Where it's like, it's less work for you to just look at someone and be like, oh, you're this. And then you don't have to put forth the effort to actually get to know the person and actually understand that they're just as nuanced as you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's an issue, to be frank, with the beloved vision, is because the beloved vision is not natural. It's not, if it were, then we'd be doing it, Yeah. And so you're looking at, frankly, like, not everybody's like Aaron Space. They're not self-motivated. They're not self-activated. Self-actualization is at the top of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Down at the bottom is survival, and this, and people are more concerned with survival. And so I think that the challenge we have with this is it's a PR, it's a branding and a marketing issue. We have to sell the benefits of it, because nobody's motivated by get up at 5 a.m. and go to the gym. They're not motivated by the process, but they're motivated by the benefits. And so if we can sell that, frankly, and create a vision that's compelling enough for people, then I think the how can follow. So that's what we're challenged with, and I think that's part of the vision for the Unity Project, is to use music and art to hopefully popularize this idea and help it get more traction. Because we love the Dr. King Center, headquartered in Atlanta. We've done multiple. We've got certified, even got trainings from them. But there's a reason that they're not in the news every day. There's a disconnect. We haven't been able to yet take this beloved vision and make it a global vision that everybody's on board with. And I think obviously there's evil that doesn't want it to happen. But I also think it's a PR branding thing. And so part of what we want to be able to do is, and we love to partner with the King Center, ultimately, and help this vision go out to the world. But maybe through art, maybe through music, we can help it get a little more normalized. and maybe there are other artists that will. I mean, ultimately, if this goes well, this first EP, and there's enough traction, maybe other artists will be able to join in. We'll be able to get more collaborations and start to grow the vision. That'd be the goal.
Okay, so let's talk about the Unity project.
Well, can I say one more thing about uniquely qualified?
Yes, please.
I think that because of our experience doing shows, so many shows, we've performed at theme parks, made fools of ourselves doing the chicken dance. I think one other thing is that there's very little ego in the sense that we're not afraid to make fools of ourselves.
Yeah.
And we're not afraid to be wrong. And we're also not afraid to take the road less traveled.
Mm-hmm.
And I think all of these experiences have realized that Brydon and I, are not bigger than the vision.
Yeah.
And that's I mean, so obviously that in a lot of music groups, that ego can really play a factor. So I just want to mention that's another unique factor with us, is that we realize that we're not bigger than the vision, not bigger than the business.
Yeah.
That we just need to get her done.
Get her done.
Get her done, baby. Amen.
Sorry, what were you saying?
Point.
Oh, no. You guys are both individually uniquely qualified, I think, and uniquely qualified as a duo to do this. And the way that what you call talent stacks, the way that they overlap with the Venn diagram, it just makes for a really great symphony of abilities that allows you to sprint towards this and do really what you've been mandated to do. So we've been hinting about the Unity project. We keep talking about it. The Unity project. We've mentioned it multiple times. What is the Unity project?
Great. The Unity project is a love-based, unity-fueled offering from Prince Ivan based on music. Music is the core of it, but also accompanied by presentations, assemblies, curriculum, and maybe even beyond that, a whole world of things and offerings that we could do that are all built around trying to bring people together around a message of love and unity. And so the vision is that we would have offerings for individuals, families, schools, businesses, even governments, to help teach them these principles. We have a 12-step framework that we've developed, and it's really all based on Dr. King and on teachings of love from multiple faiths. And because that's where we finally landed. We created a framework. They said this feels like this is how God would want it to be done, like the best way that we know how. And there's so many viewpoints out there, but we're going to centralize here and really start building around Dr. King and what he taught. And then bring in quotes and material from other sources that confirm that, or that, help support the core of the curriculum. And so, but we're not like right, we're not left, we're not wokeist, we're not anti-woke. You know what I'm saying? Like we're a bridge between all these ideologies, trying to bring something where we can focus on where we're going, where we need to go, not as much on where we've been and what the problem is. And so healing the past, but actually moving toward a beloved future. So I think that's what the Unity Project is. I could obviously have done that in 2 sentences, but that's kind of the expanded, click the button, expand it, version of it. And so I would like to say, as far as these, we're not like, again, we're not like DEI specialists. We didn't go to school for that. That's not what we did. But in 2020, when COVID hit, George Floyd happened. We were married, a few months at this point, and I always fancied myself as someone who was awake to social justice issues and just I think more than the average Joe. But I also realized that I don't know as much as I thought I know, and for about 6 weeks, I went down every rabbit hole with the George Floyd situation because, as we know, that was the biggest uproar for a long time that we've had in America, and so I went down all these rabbit holes, and whether it's the left, or right, whether it's woke or anti-woke, and anything in between, moderate, whatever, everybody's had such differing viewpoints, and I couldn't arrive at truth myself with it. I was really feeling very unsettled for at least 6 weeks as I researched heavily. And finally, I just was praying about it, and I felt God say, hey, base it on the scriptures, Dr. King, and let the chips fall where they may. So I was like, okay. So that I just began digging deep on Dr. King and going into scripture and seeing what Jesus had said about some of these issues. And so there might be people out there who have a more extensive document than me. I don't know who they are, because I went through every reference to unity or inequality or anything that could be adjacent topically to this discussion. I went through and cataloged all of it and went to different Christian leaders, and I've read very widely over these years, trying to understand the topic. And so I think the curriculum was founded in that. And Aaron also did a lot of work in that area, and he and I would have a lot of conversations. So we developed the 12 steps based on that. And so it has foundations in research. It has foundations in not just our feelings, but good. Things that can actually work. So, and then we tried to base the music on a lot of those concepts. So
the Unity Project is this overarching umbrella.
Yeah.
But then there's a musical offering that you guys are focusing on.
Yeah.
Is this going to be an album? You said it's going to be an EP?
Yeah.
It's going to EP. It's going to EP.
It's going to EP.
It's going to eat and it's going to pee.
So it's an EP. Currently looking at 6 tracks, possibly 7, all talking about different aspects of really the human journey, but asking hard questions like, what are we going to do?
It's the name of your first single,
That's
right?
the name of our first single. What are we going to do?
What are we going to do?
Asking, basically sharing that, well, the pre-chorus says, he talks, she talks, we talk, but cheap talk won't stop the gridlock. We all want to solve the problem, but we talk too much. And so what are we going to do? And so the journey of the Unity Project as a musical journey is to help the listener get to a point that everything else does, where they have a desire to change themselves in order to be part of the solution and bring about belovedness in the world. And so the first single is What Are We Gonna Do? And then we've got some other songs that I'm really excited about.
Yeah. I'm excited about What Are We Gonna Do? When does What Are We Gonna Do come out?
Well, if you're listening or watching this, then it might already be out. August 29th is the release date, 2025. So that'll be the first single off of the EP.
It's so good, you guys. You guys gotta go listen to it. Download, stream, all the things. I think there will be a music video as well.
Yeah.
Is that true? All right, we're gonna get a music video out of this tune. Yeah. It's gonna be great.
Dare I say it's a beloved banger?
A beloved banger is wild.
I mean, it was already like
Tammy,
it's like it's like when it's coming out of your mouth and you're like, I can't retract that.
That's what my wife calls me.
I was waiting. Actually, I was surprised that you hadn't said anything crazy.
No, I've been on good behavior.
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, Aaron. Aaron will
always push the boundary, whatever it is.
We call him one step too far. Aaron. That's what we've been calling him for years.
Who's we?
We always.
Brydon and his family. I'm one step too far guy.
Yeah, it's funny.
Oh, okay.
Can I share one thing? I think we won't do all the 12 steps, but I just want to give people a little sampling of like what this could do, like, and if we can develop this and get this into homes and how it could impact people. People don't do anything they don't feel like doing, and so like Aaron said, it's the goal with these the assemblies or the music is to create enough of a desire in people to change. But what do they want to change to? And so that's when we hope to have these educational materials that would help them orient to a new way of thinking. And so we have the 12 steps, but we had to radically simplify that for a 45-minute assembly for sixth graders and seventh graders and eighth graders who were dealing with significant issues related to racial harassment and other issues. And so we boiled one presentation down to 3 keys that we felt like were kind of the 3 keys to get started on this beloved journey. And number 1 was changing your lens and realizing we are family. That simple change of changing your lens to viewing each other as brothers and sisters and as part of the same human family, recognizing what Aaron was saying, like genetic markers make up a infantile percentage of our skin color, but the rest of us are the same. And it's actually like,
I'm sorry, infantile?
Infantile is crazy.
Infinite?
Infinite?
Infinite's too much.
No, it's, what is the word?
Infinitesimal.
Infinitesimal. There we go. Yeah. But
Small.
Very small, very small percentage of our DNA actually determines skin color.
Yeah.
But the rest of us as humans, like we're far, far away. We're like 99 point something percent the same, really, when it comes down to it. And there's studies like there's a great documentary on PBS that Race, the Power of an Illusion, that documented that it's possible that someone in Norway could be more genetically related to someone in Africa than 2 people in the same tribe in Africa, even though they look so much different. So it just goes to show the idea that skin color is so emphasized, the outward appearance is so emphasized. And so we teach that to kids. We talk about the idea that we are actually family. It's not just a spiritual idea, a traditionalist idea. It's not just philosophy, but it's actually genetic. It's actually biological. We are biologically more the same. We're all part of the same human family. And when we see it that way, it starts to change how you interact. So that's number 1. And then the second thing we teach, which we kind of added to our 12-step framework, was words have power.
Mm.
And so when you start changing your words about yourself and about others, that can have a great impact. And then the third thing we teach is work toward the beloved community. And that's where we introduce the beloved community idea and this idea of an end zone. We do this fun thing. We call a student out of the student body and we give them a soccer ball and tell them to shoot a goal. And we get the whole crowd's going, goal, goal, goal. And it's kind of fun to watch the student there with the soccer ball really pretty flustered and like confused because they don't know where to kick. And so then we say, wait a minute, okay. And then Aaron goes and puts up a couple of cones and creates a goal for them. And then we do it, yeah, everybody, goal, goal, goal. And then they kick the ball through the goal. And we say, okay, so why couldn't the student score? And everybody says, they didn't have a goal. Like, exactly. You literally can't win. You can't have success. You can't score in a game or in life if you don't have a goal. And so we teach that idea. And then we say, what if we all had this goal, the same end zone of the beloved community? How would that change things, you know? So there's some of the things that we share. Like, you know, we hope the music creates the desire, creates the affinity toward us. But then ultimately we hope the words and the education starts to shift paradigms. And so we want to go. Schools are a major target for the Unity Project because we want to be able to share this message with more youth. But ultimately, we want to develop this for, you know, individual use and organizational use in businesses and other things of that nature. And who knows where it will go, but we'll see.
That's so cool. So the Unity Project is a curriculum that you guys have developed to teach in schools and businesses and multiple different places. Just teach that beloved community and teach how to implement it and how to make it real in individuals, in your individual life and in like a corporate setting. And then the Unity Project is also a musical offering where you basically have created the soundtrack to the beloved community. Is that true?
Yeah. No, you nailed it. And I would say it's a music-based curriculum as well, because the curriculum is supported by the music, and so that also makes it unique. There's really nothing like it in the space. So
it's very unique. It sounds like exactly what is needed to make the impact on young people that is so severely needed, especially in America, but in the world, really. Isn't it Napoleon Bonaparte that said that artists have more power than lawmakers or something like that?
Yeah.
It's the idea that like you put art behind something and that's how you see the world change. And it's always been like that, you know. You want to see laws change, you start seeing the music change and the contents of the music change in such a way that it affects how people see the world, and eventually the laws and the social mores and things, they like reflect what was in the music decades before. It's a really interesting phenomenon to watch and track if you know what you're looking for. So I feel like this, like, it's genius, but it's also kind of obvious. Like, duh, if you pair music with it, I mean, that's what we had with the civil rights movement back in the 60s. You know, there were artists who were tied into this movement that moved it along. You saw them traveling together. Martin Luther King would call Mahalia Jackson just so she could sing and like help him get his spirit right, you know, before he had to do a big speech or a big sermon or something. Like
was it Harry Belafonte? Is it Harry?
Harry Belafonte.
Yeah,
he was Marian Anderson, like all these people who were boots on the ground, who were right there, like part of this movement, not just part of the movement, but like they were the sound of the movement. Every movement has a sound, you know, and especially in modern history, every movement has a sound attached to it. And I feel like the Unity Project could very well be that sound that needs to be attached to the creation of the beloved community, the realization of the beloved community, the manifestation of the beloved community, because it's been building for so long. But really, I feel like it's kind of sneaky Jesus, because it's very like, we're building the kingdom of God. And it just so happens that the kingdom of God is founded on love. And love, like, it makes everything work. You know? And I'm really proud of you guys and excited for, I mean, you guys did so much work to make this real, to make this work, like to make it something that you could bring into a school. And I actually was there a few times to watch the kids interact with the information and actually see light bulbs go off over their heads sometimes, and just like see the light in their eyes and see people who may not have always been included actually be included and celebrated because of the environment that your curriculum and your education and your interaction with these kids created is really cool. So also the music is fire. What are we gonna do is so good. What do you say? It's coming out August 29th. It features Tammy Stevens. It's my baby sister. It's a family situation. We always do things together, and so it's really cool to see that come about. I remember when I first heard her verse, I was like, I didn't even know she could do that. Like she always surprises me. So then,
for sure.
Like, yeah, you guys, the song was already good, and then throw her on there, and then throw Austin on there, you know, with the production and the way he switched up the beat, and then throw Naps on there with the bass line, and it was just like, it's Unity Project, like so many different people coming together to make something that works. And it's synergistic and beautiful. Like, you all are from different walks of life. You all have individual struggles and differences that they don't overlap. There's no reason why you should be working together, and yet you are. And it's so cool. I love how even the song itself, if you know the background of it, is just a small microcosm, a small illustration of how the beloved community works. Lovely. So I don't know. Is there anything else that we want to talk about here? Like anything that you're like, oh, we did not mention this and it needs to be said? I think maybe you need to share some quotes.
Oh. Okay.
Because you got, you know, he always has like 50-11 quotes
Sure.
that he could pull from.
50-11.
50-11. Oh yeah,
An infantile.
That's an infantile amount of quotes.
Okay. There are two that stand out. One from Dr. King, then one from his son. Dr. King said, "If you're seeking the highest good, I think you can find it through love." He said, "The beautiful thing is we're not moving wrong when we do it because John was right. God is love. He who hates does not know God, but he who loves has the key that unlocks the door to the meaning of ultimate reality." Yeah.
Okay, Dr. King.
Yeah, I love that. And his son, Martin Luther King III, was giving a speech at a college, and he said, "I call for a critical mass of active visionaries, people of all races, religions, and cultural groups, who not only believe that the dream of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is achievable, but who are willing to work and to sacrifice and to suffer if necessary to make it a reality." I think that's our invitation, is we're looking for the active visionaries. We're looking for the people who want to make real change. And we hope that the Unity Project activates some of those people, and that God really uses it to facilitate unity and change. Because even though we're not dealing with the same problems at the same scale that Dr. King was in the civil rights movement, racism is a cancer, and it has not gone into remission and has not been eradicated. It's still there. It's just taking different forms. And if we are not proactive about racism and isms of all kinds, then they metastasize and they ultimately spread, and they find new expressions, because it's an evil power that I think is animated by evil, and if it's not counteracted by proactive light, then it will never be eradicated. So I think racism is there, and so we have those issues today. They're not as right in front of you, but they're there. And the Unity Project is all about eradicating racism, but also about seeing each other just as humans. So any other of the isms that separate us, we want to see those go away too. And then after that, if we can get rid of the isms, then Dr. King's vision was way bigger than racism. That's what he was getting fought on mostly. He was actually the most hated man in America
when he died
in 1967.
Mm-hmm.
His vision was three-pronged. Once racism was eradicated, then he wanted to tackle poverty and war, and it was poverty and war that people didn't want to hear about. And so, because now we're talking money,
Mm-hmm.
and war is driven by money.
Oh yeah.
And so we're tackling the isms here, but the beloved vision requires that then we have a bigger conversation about poverty and war, and he calls it the triple evils of society. And there are others that we need to tackle as well. And so I just want to leave this world better for the next generation, and this is part of how to do that. But truly, I don't think, if we loved each other the way we should, if we had the right lens, we wouldn't allow homelessness and hunger. There are too many resources in this world for people to be going hungry at night. Now, I recognize that that's a balance, and because there are people who don't take action for themselves. I get that. I totally understand that. It's not steal from the rich to feed the poor type of situation. I think there are solutions. So the last thing I would say, and it's not a political statement at all, it's that Dr. King said it, and I thought it was great. He said, "Communism forgets that people are individual. Capitalism forgets that people have to live in community. We need a higher synthesis of both. And we are here in America, it's capitalism and it's very individualistic. I was lamenting this with a friend the other day. Like, even though we have 100 family members here in the area, we're still living very isolated lives, you know? And the culture of America is adding more and more, not subtracting, but adding. And we're spiritually sick. And Dr. King said it years ago, but we need a rebirth. And so I'm thinking that hopefully this can help toward that. We need a rebirth spiritually and emotionally and philosophically. And I think capitalism is so good for, you know, self-initiative and competition. I don't mind those things, but we've got to somehow start living together and not just living for ourselves. So lest the viewer feels like I'm going too far left or too far right with that, I'll quote somebody from the left who wrote How to Be an Anti-Racist, or How to Be an Anti-Racist, Ibram X. Kendi. He said, and I think I agree with him, that the core problem that perpetuates racism and the systemic issues that we have in America and throughout the world is not pride. It's not even greed, but he says it's unintelligent self-interest. Unintelligent self-interest, because if we were intelligently self-interested, we'd realize that having the interest of our brother is actually going to be better for us than to try to keep everything for ourselves. Because the way that this universe is set up, it's a go-giver universe, not a go-getter universe. But somehow we think in our selfishness and our unintelligent self-interest that we have to go get and keep and survive. But if we could get into a mentality of intelligent self-interest and being selfless and giving, the universe will always give back, and we can have a lot more abundance for everybody. So I think it's those types of, if we can create systems and policies and programs around those types of philosophies, I think we could win, you know? But right now, everything's pretty motivated by money and unintelligent self-interest. So we got a big mountain to climb, but who knows? I don't think we're the only ones thinking this way.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Which is comforting.
Anyway, I gave you a lot more than a quote.
No, that was great. It was exactly why I asked you. Aaron, what do you hope the music does? Specifically the music.
Well, because we've been so involved in live shows for so long, whenever we're even writing music, we always go straight to the stage. And one of the biggest parts of the vision of the Unity Project has been to create a live experience where people can come from all walks of life and they leave feeling hope, they leave feeling unified, they leave feeling seen and inspired. We experienced something similar when we went to see Coldplay back in 2016. It was an incredible experience where their core message is love, and then just through the excellence of the music and the lyrics and all the production, it is definitely top 3 experiences of my life in terms of live music. So my hope is that the music gains traction and obviously connects with people with the goal of creating that type of live experience where it is a destination. It is it's something where people go expecting to be changed for the better. Because I think, I don't know, sometimes you know, you can do a course, you can read a book, but there's also there's nothing like being in a space where you're just changed and you're
Mhm.
transformed. It's like the difference between taking a semester-long class and then going to a 3-day seminar. A lot of times a seminar will get you a lot more inspired than a college course.
Mhm.
And so I think that's kind of want to inject lightning into people with our live experience and into ourselves. I've had this vision, because I work in lighting. I've had this vision of what the stage is going to look like, and just the type of set pieces, and I don't want that idea to die with me. I'd love to bring that to fruition. So I think that's my ultimate hope for the music.
I think you can do all of that and more. I'm really hopeful that it gains the traction that it's meant to, that it reaches the hearts and the ears and the minds and the souls of the people that it is meant to reach, because it's needed. The message is needed. The beloved community is needed. The kingdom of God on earth needs to be built. And I think every movement has a sound.
Amen.
And this could be the sound. I'm hoping it's the sound.
Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's freaking go. All right.
LFG.
It's been a great conversation.
Great job facilitating, babe.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. We're so happy that you came. So obviously, those of you who come and watch every episode know what's coming. You know what's coming. You're waiting for us to put a smile on her face. Before we do that, I just want to say, like, comment, subscribe. Go follow Aaron Space.
Yar.
Go listen to his single. His voice is so beautiful, and you will love it. And be on the lookout. August 29th, they are dropping their first single from the Unity Project. It is called What Are We Gonna Do? It is fire. You will love it. There will also be a music video coming out after that. Follow them on social media. Prince Ivan Official, I think it is. Is it still Prince Ivan Official?
Yep.
Prince Ivan Official. Be on the lookout for new music coming from them. Not just the one that's coming out on August 29th, but there will be more music coming. So please get connected with them. Follow Brydon and Brett if you don't already follow him. Follow Aaron Space. Follow Brettertogether. And let's just stay connected. We love you guys. We're so grateful that you're here. Also, if you want to go on a cruise, get on that website. Get connected. Get that information, because it's going to be fun. We're going to have fun. Anyway, we want to put a smile on your face. So, babe, what you got for the people?
Well, I don't know if it's too soon or whatever, but I felt like some Dr. King-centered humor might be in order.
I'm curious.
What's the easiest way to condense milk?
Wow.
MLK. Take the eye out. What did Dr. King say to his wife when he proposed to her? Will you be my Martin Luther Queen? And why did Dr. King get straight A's in math? He's really good at solving inequalities. Love y'all. Thank you so much.
Love you guys.
Peace. We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.
It's better with us two.